I think that this team is building an identity and building a foundation where, what you see with the other great teams is that no matter who's on the floor, we're going to go out there and play Timberwolves basketball. And I think that we showed that tonight. Things weren't as pretty as the Laker game. We struggled a little bit, but we stuck to our foundation and stuck to our principles. Played, in my opinion, we played really well tonight. We played good defense. I thought offensively, it just wasn't falling. It's okay, but we kept it up with our defense. We played really well. I thought we played with after the first 4 minutes, I felt like we picked each other up and we started really hitting all cylinders, and we played the game and we grinded the game out and we got the win.
Right, yeah, get the flags. Get the flags. Wave the flag. Quarantine Judd waving the flag.
Oh, look at that.
Timberwolves
Very good flag.
Basketball.
That's some spice right there. Look at that.
Did you hear Kat referring to Timberwolves basketball, which meant something entirely different for like almost 20 years?
Yeah.
They're like if you were to tell someone, hey, tonight we're watching Timberwolves basketball, right?
They'd be like,
so they'll be down by 25 in the third quarter.
So Rashad McCants is playing 36 minutes. What are we doing here?
So yeah, what does that mean? It means something entirely different. In fact, I have for you guys 4 Timberwolves observations here.
Okay.
The Peach Basket Whisperer, as one of our loyal listeners called me on Twitter the other day.
All right,
I think it sticks. We got the Peach Basket Whisperer here. These are observations, though, on things that have happened and that the Peach Basket Whisperer hopes that the Wolves can carry forward here. Okay. So I'm going to throw these out here, and you guys go ahead and comment as you wish. Wolves are back to 500, by the way. They hopped over Dallas in the standings. I believe the Wolves are sitting in the 8th seed right now, somewhere in there. Observation number 1. The Timberwolves are no longer soft. You can call them any number of things. You can call them volume shooters. You can call them streaky. But you can no longer call the Timberwolves soft because, in part anyways, they have 2 of the most effective pest, gritty players in the NBA in Jared Vanderbilt and Patrick Beverley. And because I know you guys are hockey guys, I got Judd's hockey show here hanging out with me. Patrick Beverley and Jared Vanderbilt are the equivalent of the gritty sort of third, fourth line guys. Maybe you sprinkle one of them into, the first and second line over here. And their job is to get under opponent's skin, clean up goals in front of the net. They're going to bait opponents into, you're going to bait opponents into a hook or something, right? And you're going to get a power play. That's what these guys do. In baseball, it's the dirty jersey guy. They've got dirty jersey guys up and down with Patrick Beverley, Jared Vanderbilt. I think Jaden McDaniels can be this from time to time. And D'Lo's even kind of turning into this. And Anthony Edwards will get into the paint. He hasn't played in a couple games.
Right.
But these guys, Vanderbilt and Beverley, are turning the Wolves into a soft punchline and into a team that even when they don't have their best shooting efforts, even when they're maybe trailing in a game, are going to fight you in most games for 48 minutes.
Pat Bev is so valuable to me too, because he clearly not only plays the role that you just described, Phil, but he also knows how to win. He brings a winning, he knows what it looks like. And that might sound trite, but it's not. He clearly has a confidence and an ability to articulate, because I think he's a really, really smart dude. Ability to articulate and probably more importantly, demonstrate what a successful team, so not like a game, but a successful team looks like. And I think that's what D'Lo gets, and I think that's what Cat gets, and I think that permeates some very important players like Ant as well. The Vanderbilt comp that I'm going to give you, I think is extremely appropriate. Now, Jared Vanderbilt is not here yet, but I feel like the track is very much the same. Yul Eriksson-Ek, who was underwhelming when he started, was not great, was questioned as why did they take that guy in the first round? Brock Besser is a far superior player. Because I don't think Jared is dirty at all, but he clearly works his ass off and annoys teams, which is great. But I mean, he's not doing it through well, that was a questionable move. That was a foul that was flagrant and bad. So yeah, but I mean, I think the Pat Bev thing, Gerson Rosas is in line right now to get votes for NBA Executive of the Year, I think, largely based on Pat Bev. What Pat Bev has brought.
It's a great acquisition.
But what
it is.
And I mean, you look at how he takes control, has respect. Like, guys snap to it. Like, it's not like, oh, there goes Pat Bev again. It's like, oh, cool, okay, yeah.
It's amazing. I love that he, like 2 or 3 times a game, he'll pump fake a 3 and go right into the teeth of the defense and get to the free throw line. Like, even the game against the Lakers, I think it was Rajon Rondo that he was taunted. He got a technical, I'm pretty sure, for doing the he's too small to guard me thing.
Yep, he did.
Which I also saw a wide receiver in one of the games yesterday did the same thing. Can't remember the team, but like that's a new thing, like too small to guard me. Wide receivers will do it. Even Pat Beverley's doing it. But it's worth it, man. Like, yes, taunt the Lakers. Puff your chest. You're no longer soft. Also, Vanderbilt, he is a hands in passing lanes guy, too.
Oh, God, yeah.
Where you'll just, maybe it's not a turnover, maybe it's not a steal, but he'll just like throw off the flow of an offense by getting a mitt on something, right? And there's a great quote from Vanderbilt in The Athletic today, just talking about his style of play and the season he's having. He's actually second on the team in win shares per 48 minutes because of all the hidden stuff he does defensively. It's Cat's number 1. Number 2 is Jarrett Vanderbilt. Number 3 is Patrick Beverley. And it's just like the way that they're impacting the game.
Yep.
And so the quote from Jarrett Vanderbilt was, "It's tough playing this way. It ain't easy, but I'm willing to put my body on the line to win. If that means sacrificing my body to go out there and make an extra effort to get an extra rebound, extra possession for us, I'm willing to do that."
Going in the corners.
Dude, it's
Football.
They're all hockey players.
It's kind of similar to when, towards the end of his career, when Bill Guerin went to Pittsburgh. Like, Bill Guerin was no longer the high-scoring offensive player, but he became the kind of pain in the ass and also glue in that room that kind of helped Sidney and helped those guys overcome and get the cup. It's similar to that too.
And the last time the Timberwolves, I'm kind of skipping past the Jimmy Butler season because it was such a weird anomaly. It was a pop-up season, but you go back 17, 18 years, the last time the Timberwolves were among the best teams in the Western Conference. And yes, KG was kind of all of these things wrapped into a superstar player, so it helps when your star player is also the Patrick Beverley, Jared Vanderbilt type. But they had guys like Trenton Hassel. You need guys who are only out there. They're not thinking about getting 10 shots. They're only thinking about extra possessions from my teammates, hands in passing lanes, hit the floor, and that's what these guys are bringing. So that's my first observation. The Wolves, they're going to lose games. They're probably going to lose another, 25 games, but they are no longer soft.
I agree with that completely. Yeah.
And a guy that was sort of the figurehead for the soft Timberwolves is Karl-Anthony Towns. And my second observation is that Karl-Anthony Towns is figuring out how to channel his energy productively. He still bitches about officiating too much, and he'll do the thing where he'll flail and hit the ground unnecessarily sometimes. But for the most part, you look at these last few games, especially that game against the Lakers on Friday night, and instead of his energy taking him to these crazy places, right? Like, I'm playing with energy. Really, you're just complaining about officiating. No, he was channeling the energy into, a one-on-one defensive block against LeBron and then do the flex and to get the crowd going. Or he would throw down a dunk on a putback, and then he would flex and get the crowd going. And I think, that's how you play with energy. Playing with energy isn't throwing tantrums because the calls aren't going your way. Playing with energy is making a great play, being hyper-focused, and then unleashing to get the crowd into it or your teammates into it. And I think he's kind of learning. And I also love how he responded to Anthony Edwards' public criticism. I mean, Ant came out a week ago and said, and he meant it in a good way. He wasn't throwing his teammate under the bus, but he basically said, hey, Cat's got to stop waiting for the double team to come every possession and just go. He's unguardable. He needs to stop overthinking it. If he gets doubled, that's fine, but just go. No one can guard you. And he comes out against Denver last week and goes right at those Nuggets bigs, including Jokic, 6 of 7 in the paint in that game. And then Anthony Davis, he took it to Anthony Davis until Davis got hurt for an hour and a half. 7 for 9 in the paint against the Lakers in that game. And then last night, Dallas doubled him more than the previous 2 games, and he goes to the line 13 times. All of his shot attempts, except for 3, were inside the paint. And so I love it. Like he's taking it to heart. He's channeling his energy more productively. I hope he keeps doing it for the rest of the season.
And to your first point, Phil, it feels like again that Pat Bev must be in his ear, right? Because there's definitely like a transformation taking place where I don't think Karl by himself, and look, it's not surprising. I don't think he processed things well, but it feels like that he's got a support system now of guys who know what he should do. And so, yeah, he's always going to do some things that annoy you, but he's so damn good that if he can take that from being like 75% annoying down to 50 or something like that, it's fine. So I love the fact too that when he is now pouncing on the opportunities, that when teams guard him with their bigs, he goes at them big time. And I think it's because he is not guarded by bigs consistently now, which is probably tough. So if you're going to put, the Joker on him, he's going to go at that guy, which is great. But yeah, I think the trickle down of what Pat Bev has meant is absolutely huge.
Mm-hmm. All right, observation number 3 here. Jalen Noel has arrived. So you remember the Peach Basket Whisperer talking about Jalen Noel during Summer League earlier this calendar year. So the last couple games he's played, it's been about 4 or 5 games where he's been in the actual rotation. Like he's not just playing garbage time, but specifically the last couple games, he's with Anthony Edwards out. Like they're playing him 15, 20 minutes. He's doing everything. He's knocking down shots. He's scoring in the paint. He's rebounding. He's moving the ball. And this is another one of those hidden gems. So he was the Pac-12 Player of the Year 3 years ago at University of Washington. And he's always shown promise, but he's never really gotten, at least under Chris Finch, like regular rotational playing time. And he's only gotten it for a week now. But I think he's moved his way into the rotation here. I love the energy he brings. I love the fact that he's got more upside than he's shown so far. And he's sort of arrived as a rotational player here the last couple games.
He's confident too.
Yes.
Which I love. Like it's not like I'm in the game, I better not miss a shot. It's like, okay, I'll shoot. And there's a difference between being confident and being dumb. And he's not dumb. But yeah, he can play. And I love the fact that the last 2 games have there's been a burst as well. But I think the last two games in particular have shown what this team is capable of doing without Ant, which is super impressive. So, yeah, the win last night to me was really impressive because it would have been very Wolves like huge win, right? Friday night against the Lakers. You come back and you're like, well, we let down a little bit, right? They really didn't. I didn't think.
And I love that they can play sort of an imperfect, ugly game and still win. And yes, the Mavericks are without one of the best players in the league, but the Wolves are without one of the best young players in the league. Anthony Edwards being out is a huge deal.
This COVID thing is so tough now. Like it's like every game somebody is without a key player or two, right? So it's like so hard to parse through. Well, that team had that guy, but they didn't have that guy, and my team didn't have this guy or that guy. It's like, okay. Everybody at this point in time is being impacted by guys being out because of COVID.
Yep. And then observation number 4 is pretty quick and simple. D'Lo has finally found his shooting stroke. Last 4 games since coming back from his 4 or 5 game hiatus, 45% from the 3-point line for D'Lo. So if we're going to get all of the other things that he has brought to the table, which is the best defense he's played, it's probably the best he's been as a leader so far with the Timberwolves. He's meshing better with the coach than he was with Ryan Saunders. And now he's going to start shooting at the clip that you would expect from D'Angelo Russell. That's a pretty big deal going forward. So,
no
D'Lo,
trade anymore.
Never doubted him.
Declan, the trade's off the table.
Never doubted him.
Bill's not trading D'Lo anymore.
Never.
He's not giving up on D'Lo.
Never jumped off the bandwagon. I always had one toe on the bandwagon. Always had one toe on.
I've got an amateur basketball question when it comes to his shot, because it's something that I've seen the last 2 games in which I think he shot pretty well. Has he changed slightly? And this might sound totally stupid, so just stop me if it does. Has he changed slightly the arc on the shot itself? It feels like his shot now, the trajectory is higher than it was when he was struggling. It's not that shot was flatlined, but it felt like it was more flatlined, and now it feels like the shot itself in how it's released has been changed.
That's a really, really high-level good question there.
See, I thought it might be dumb.
I'd have to go back and watch the film to see.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure the biggest complaints about the new ball or the new texture of the ball,
Yep.
I think I saw an Athletic article about this, that guys with flatter shots were having worse results. Like guys with like flatter trajectories on their shots naturally were struggling more with whatever, the new feeling of the basketball.
Interesting.
And sometimes his shot can be flat. Like I feel like he kind of alters it sometimes just based on like, is somebody in his face? Like he's really creative and he's got good touch.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we can I don't know, maybe we can get like a Dane Moore or somebody on this week to get us into the weeds on that.
I think there were times last night before he left the game because of injury that Porzingis guarded him. So what you just said would make sense then. Why did Porzingis stop shooting from the outside? The last time I saw him play here, which was when Carlisle coached the Mavs, he was knocking threes down and last night it felt like he barely did.
Then
he
got
shot
hurt.
from close.
He got hurt at some point too.
Yeah, he didn't come back in the third quarter. I mean, he just checked out and said, "That's it for me tonight, boys.
I'm good. I'm going to.
I'm Kristaps. I'll be at the club across the street with my mask on."
To Bellinote, which doesn't exist anymore, but that's where Michael Olwick.
There's some nice gentlemen's club across the street.
There's a few of them. Yeah, it's great. There's a hot dog buffet down the street.
Yeah, great one. Mm-hmm.
I'm just there for the articles and the free hot dogs.
Oh, free hot dogs. I mean, if they want to endorse us, Mackey and Judd, glad to have you.
Declan here for Rick's Cabaret. Yep, that'd be great.
Speaking of, let's talk about Federated here for a brief moment. All right. Now, you can find a full list of industries Federated protects at federatedinsurance.com. But Federated's all about risk management, protecting businesses and employees from things that could potentially be harmful or put a dent in your bottom line. So just make sure with winter weather conditions, just think about the things that could harm your business. Federated's here to help protect you. Federatedinsurance.com. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. All right, time to power up for Ventline tonight, boys. Vikings-Bears. Let's get it.
Boy.
I don't even care how this looks. The Vikings just need to win a game ugly if needed, 16-10.
Oh, there's lots of those. There's
16-10.
We saw them yesterday. There's lots of those games, man.
Get you a cover there. I think the Vikings are up to like 6 or 6.5 point favorites in a lot of sports books too, which makes me nervous.
I heard, too, that Nagy on Chicago Sports Radio on Monday morning said that he will be calling the offensive plays with the tag team of John DeFilippo helping him out a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Flip is the OC right now because all their I think the OC, the DC, and the special teams guy are all out. So I also heard rumblings that the Bears actually approached the league about trying to postpone until Tuesday, because they essentially have no defensive backs. And the league's like, nah, you're fine. You're playing as part of a doubleheader on Monday.
So this needs to be a 180-yard, 2-touchdown game for old JJ, right?
Well, yeah, if that's the case. Yes, I would hope so. But, Phil, you're exactly right, man. These games now, you really don't care anymore.
Yeah. I mean, just get a victory.
I would like to see the Vikings just hit the gas from the first quarter on and not like pull back like, oh my God, now we lead. Now let's get conservative. But yeah, you have to get this win. You really don't care, I guess.
So join us on Ventline tonight, right after. It's on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, right after the game is over. The most fan-friendly and interactive show in Minnesota sports. We are Mackey and Judd, daily Minnesota sports entertainment at your service. We'll see you guys tomorrow.